times in this term. Oh yeah, Texas and Vanderbilt. Yeah, I read that this morning.
Okay.
I read that this morning.
All right. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah,
It's 9 o'clock, folks. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First up, hold on just a minute. The devotion, which I don't have, so I'm just want to say a prayer this morning. And I also want to mention too, before I say the prayer, one of our former supervisors passed away recently, Mr. Peter Pierce, who was, of course, he served many years ago, but Peter died recently, he was 90 years old. But anyway, would y'all bow your heads, please? Father, bless this board as we come here this morning to take care of our county's business. Thank you for all the folks that come to work for Jackson County every day to help make our county a better place for us to live. Bless each of them and their families, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
If y'all would stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. That brings us down to 2 scholarships we have to give this morning. If boys, y'all would, just let's walk down front and we'll give these out down there. Let me see which one's first, Joey. Small. Okay. What we have in scholarships this morning, both of these young folks, their parents work for the county. And we're glad to help these kids. I say kids, they're young folks that soon be grown ups, I guess. But the first one is Jake Small. Come on up, Jake. And I believe his mother, come on up. Woo! $500 scholarship, I believe, Jake, and we're proud of you, buddy. Proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Good luck to you in the future too.
Yes, sir.
Where you going?
MGCCC.
Oh, you going to? What are you going to try to do?
Instrumentation and controls.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. You have anything you'd like to say?
Where are you going to school?
I'm going to Mississippi State University. So, yeah. I've already been accepted and everything. I'm going to study psychology.
Okay. Wait a minute. It's right behind you. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go over here. Kay, then take you up. Thank y'all. Thank you. I was going to kind of do them separate, but that's good. That's great.
We can try and squeeze together.
Now, what are you going to try to do, Kay? What you say?
Psychology.
Oh, are you?
You can come and join.
We may have a place for you.
Squeeze up here. You guys come up here. All right. And both dads work for fire departments. Yeah. He works for us, and then he's in Biloxi, so. All right. We'll take a couple pictures. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us down to another presentation we had, but we're going to wait, huh?
Yeah, they're coming, but they're not here yet, so they are coming, because a couple of people are.
We're going to skip over this one. It's a recognition of St. Martin High School girls flag football team. And they're state champions, and we were going to recognize them. We'll come back to that when they get here. And all right, that brings us down to amendments to the agenda. I didn't have any. Mr. Morris?
I didn't have anything.
Mr. Taylor? Is Mr. Taylor on the phone?
Yes, I am. I have nothing.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ross?
Just one executive session personnel.
Okay. Mr. Bosarge?
None.
Mr. Elder?
None.
Mr. Fulton?
No, sir.
Mr. O'Neill?
None.
Mr. Comer?
One executive session personnel.
Okay. Are there any other amendments? Go ahead, Ms. Wells.
Yes, I have an addition to the docket.
Are there any other additions, amendments? All right, if not, could I get a motion to accept the amendments?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bosard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Is there anyone here for general public comments this morning? Anyone for general public comments? All right. That brings us down to consent agenda. I need a motion to accept it as amended.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Ross. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, that brings us over to department heads. Ms. Wells?
Good morning. The first item I have is the order approving the claims docket with the addition.
I'll make that motion. Second by Mr. Bosarge. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
And the last item I have is the resolution authorizing the operating transfers for fiscal year September 30th, 2025.
Okay. Have a motion by Mr. Bosarge, a second by Mr. Morris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wells. Ms. Barnett?
Good morning. I have one resolution declaring a cargo trailer a surplus property for donation to the Jackson County 4-H.
Okay. Have a motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mr. Ross. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Ketchot?
Good morning. The item I have before you is our Planning Commission recommendations for the past month.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bosarge. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
And also a revised hearing date from, for Monday, July the 21st at 10 a.m. for a use permit review.
Now, come back, Marcus, I didn't understand.
That's not on the agenda, is it?
It's on my planning portion, but I think that's probably should have went on the consent agenda, but
Which one is that, Marcus?
it's for a use permit. It's for an appeal hearing.
I think that was under consent, I believe.
Okay.
For,
Yeah.
Jamie.
Stelly, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it was on there. I remember seeing it. Yeah. Thank you, Marcus. Mr. O'Neill?
Good morning. First item I have is a resolution of the Jackson County Board of Supervisors accepting the petition for acceptance of Branch Road in District 1.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bosarge. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
I need two to inspect.
Yeah.
I will. I will.
All right, Mr. Ross and Mr. Bosarge.
All right. Next item I have is a resolution of the Jackson County Board of Supervisors accepting a petition for acceptance of Park Ridge Drive South in District 1.
Okay. I'll make that motion again.
Second.
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Morris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
I'll do that one too, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna be in that area
Troy,
quite a bit here.
you're gonna be the second one?
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank y'all.
all right. Thank y'all. That's all I have.
That it, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Up next.
They're here, do you want to do the girls?
Yeah. Tell them to come on in. We'll go ahead and take care of it. I think there's about 20 of them. This may be a noisy group.
Flag football is what, is it like 9
Baseball
people?
girls.
Huh?
Flag football.
7 or 9.
7 or 9, yeah. So it's probably a good number.
Y'all just come on up front. Come on. Let's go down again, boy.
I know.
All right, hey girls, we want to congratulate y'all on your efforts and your dedication and everything you put to winning this. And we appreciate everything the staff and the coach did to help the girls, and we appreciate y'all being here. On May 10th, 2025, the St. Martin High School girls flag football team made history by winning the inaugural Mississippi High School Activities Association Girls Flag Football State Championship. Their success is attributed to many hours of both physical and mental training the team was willing to endure as they embraced the sport that they had never played before. This dedicated group of 23 young women and their coaches are a testament of hard work and perseverance. The board congratulates the St. Martin High School girls flag football team on their achievement and is proud to have them as ambassadors of Jackson County. We look forward to what the future holds. All right, well, good job. Thank y'all.
If I can get you guys some girls.
Y'all slide up there, we'll be behind y'all.
We'll get
And you
behind
guys
y'all.
come this way, we can all take photos.
Appreciate y'all.
Maybe no one's wearing jeans, kind of stuff, is that okay? Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna take it this angle.
Did one of the coaches do it?
Yeah, on the first day of practice.
Oh, my goodness, that's what we
Collarbone.
That's not good. Here, right?
Bad pass from me.
I'll take it.
Maybe this more?
One, two, three. We'll do one more with this phone, and then I got the coach's phone
Sorry. That's the iPhone 1.
You want me to do video or photo?
Photo, please.
1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I promise.
So is it 7 on 7 or?
Yes, sir.
11?
7 on 7. Yes, sir. And we got clips and highlights, everything.
I saw some of it.
Yeah, and so we've had 3 girls get 3 wild offers already to play. And next year at Bishop State Community College. So we're very, very fortunate, very blessed to have enough players to do that.
Then I hear it's going to be an Olympic sport.
It is 2028 Olympic sport.
Hey, Coach, do you want to tell us a little bit about football?
Yeah, So again, this is the first year, the Saints, Nike, and the MHSAA, decided to include Mississippi and reach out. We were the 14th state in the country to adopt high school girls flag football. The Saints started with Louisiana 2 years ago, so this was their second year. This is our first year. Alabama's had it for about 5 years. Georgia, I think, was one of the first ones. There were 12 teams in the state this year participating. Georgia has over 340 schools participating, so we're headed that way. So it looks like we're going to have anywhere between 50 and 75 schools for this upcoming season. But these girls, again, never playing, knowing absolutely nothing about football. Started February 17th was our first practice. To go from there, learning how to just snap a football, pass football, what a route was, all these things. We have such a collection of, we have cheerleaders, we have dance team members, we have golfers, basketball players, softball players, gymnasts. We have an elite gymnast, track. So we have just a culmination of all these different sports coming together. I believe that that's what led us to victory, bringing all their skills instead of just being specified as one certain thing. I mean, all of them had their own set of skills, and it was just amazing to watch them transform from day one, which we took videos of, to ultimately winning a state championship. And we outscored our opponents 167-20 on the season. On the championship day, we had to win 3 games in one day. We outscored our opponents 66-6. And we were blessed with obviously winning the state championship. We had 3 girls just got full ride offers to play college flag football for Bishop State Community College. And there's a lot of schools in the country that have it, NAIA and JUCO, but Alabama just is starting their programs this year. So all the junior colleges in the state of Alabama, this will be their first year, and to have 3 girls get full ride offers, that was amazing. So the amount of hard work and dedication these young ladies put in. We had 2 breaks during our time. We had Mardi Gras break where everybody, you know, I mean, they've been in school a long time. Some of these girls have been playing basketball, different sports. They wanted to, I asked them if they wanted to practice. If not, I was going to take a cruise. And they said, we want to practice. So we did. For the entire week of the Mardi Gras break, we had 23 players on the team, and we had over 20 every time for practice. And then the wife and I had already booked a cruise for our spring break, and come to find out we were on our spring break on the cruise ship, and people were sending me videos that the girls were out there practicing without us, without the coaches. So they were a joy to coach. I'm a high school boys basketball coach for 20-something years, and these girls just did everything we asked them to do, and unlike coaching boys, we know everything, it seems to be. So anytime we tried to teach them something, they was like, Coach, is this how you want to do it? Is this right? Can we stay? We try to end practice. Coach, can we stay late? Can we come early? Coach Walton, Eugene Walton, not a teacher at school, but integral part of what we do. He was able to get there early every day, like for our seniors. Sometimes they were there an hour early before we got out of school with Coach Walton, and putting in the work, putting in the time. And we've been blessed. We have a Coach Parkman over here. She's an assistant principal, but she also is a professional women's tackle football player for a team in Alabama. We have my wife, Mrs. Pavlis, right here. She's always been there for basketball. We get to share the field with her and her impact on the young ladies. We're blessed to have C.J. Hawthorne, former St. Martin graduate who played for Hawaii in the Sugar Bowl and made it to the NFL for the Buffalo Bills. So we were blessed with a lot of impactful people that were positive influences on our young ladies, and these girls just came and did everything we asked them to do. We had great parental support. Because of the situation this year, the Saints wanted to be there for every game. So we played at Southwest Community College and Picayune High School. We had to drive 3 hours to Southwest every other week, and then about an hour and 15 minutes to Picayune. So the Saints, their players, their administration was there. So all 12 schools went to the same spot every time they played. They had the 2 fields broken up, but it was just an amazing experience. One of the best of my life. And again, the most positive thing coming out of that, within 3 months, sending girls to college for free to go play football. They're an inspiration to the future, and the future is bright with these young ladies, and we're just excited about the future.
It's great, hard work.
Yeah, hard work paid off. We're taking a celebratory, we raise money for a trip to Universal Studios. We're taking the girls to Universal Studios, June 15th. So most of them are going, so we get to go kind of celebrate the championship down at Disney World and Universal Studios. So we're excited about that trip. And we thank y'all so much for taking the time to do this and having us over here this morning and recognize our young ladies.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Good job. Celebratory money. We got basketball games. We got basketball games on 2 hours. We got basketball games in 2 hours. I did. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Hey, bring the trophy back. We'll get the trophy. We'll get a pic with the trophy. We'll let y'all take one picture with the trophy. Come on, Troy, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the time.
Now you got it.
Yeah, really.
NIL money.
Getting the women's flag football.
All right. Bring this to a public hearing at 10 o'clock. It is not 10 o'clock, so we'll go past that one. We have a presentation for skate parks event, outcome presentation by Tyler Prowant of the Gulf Coast Skate Parks Association.
Yeah, hey, good morning, y'all. I'm just going to give a quick introduction. Tyler's just going to give us a talk overview of the event that we had back in April to sort of promote and build community support for the possible future skate park at the Lemoyne soccer fields. So I guess, Tyler, do you want me to start with the presentation?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead and pull up the video. That's really awesome. I get to follow that up. It was really cool that we just got to see. But here we're talking about a different form of sport, and so we're talking about skateboarding. So we're just going to start off with a quick video that's recapping what the event was, and then we'll give you a quick presentation. Just one moment. Yep. And here we go. What is up, Gulf Coast skaters? I'm Ty Prowant, president of the Gulf Coast Skate Park Association, and today we are launching a skate park in St. Martin. So behind me, we're actually doing lessons for the kids right now, and then in the afternoon we'll be doing some contests throughout the day. So we're gonna be doing contests for the kids and for the adults. We got the DJ setting up, we got concessions going, we're raffling off prizes and skate gear, and it's just gonna be a great day. What we're hoping to do is to grow the community of skateboarding down here on the Gulf Coast. And St. Martin reached out, they wanted a skate park. We've been working with the Jackson County officials to get this going. They're very excited to see where this goes. And today we're collecting data about what kind of skate park they want in the future. So today's gonna be an awesome day.
He's getting some wheels, Spitfire wheels. Great job, buddy. And then in first place, we have Andy! All right. Can I get the kids over here around this sledge? We're going to get a picture of y'all together. All right. Everybody come on.
Hi, this is my first year skateboarding, and I just won my second competition and won this awesome board. and I've had a lot of fun skating with the Flex DIY skate park. And I have only done 2 competitions. I've gotten 3rd place, and this was my first time ever getting 1st place. And I'm going to keep skating and try to get as good as I
Everybody come out to the St. Martin DIY. It's pretty dope. Got cool features. You know, the ledges are pretty dope. Yeah, come skate.
What's up? I'm Casey. I'm one of the skaters here that's part of the Gulf Coast Skate Park Association. We just had a great event today. If you haven't showed up to one, make sure you come out to the next one. It's a lot of fun. We got food, we got music, we got lessons for the kids, so make sure you show up next time.
So did you have to use the ambulance on standby?
That's a great question. In fact,
that was my call.
So
Good. Why not?
We actually had 4. We had the 2 sheriff personnel came out, and then we had 2 EMTs that came out. And during the day, they were just patching up some bumps and bruises, some scrapes. Other than that, we didn't have any major significant injuries to report. But yeah, so it's a really good lead-in for us talking about what's going on here on the coast. So we got to get the opportunity to build a really awesome skate park, and it's out there right now and it's getting used. So every Sunday we're doing our Sundays in St. Martin at 3 o'clock, and we have community members come out and skate with us now, and they're loving it. We couldn't have asked for a better launch. Now, we did have some challenges leading up to it, but the coast is not it's not new to be resilient in the face of weather, so we had to push it back a day because of some inclement weather, and it turns out it was an amazing choice because that gave us the opportunity to tell more people about it, and to line up things with vendors so that it could be a successful day. So during the day we had over 300 guests that came out to enjoy the event with us. So of course this was a big day, the first big initiative in the county in skateboarding in over 20 years in terms of launching a new project or initiative. And then, so the official launch was to see also what kind of community support was out there, and I think this really shows that there was a lot. So it was a big day of celebrating. With our youth development success, like here, we got the awesome opportunity to highlight some of the talent that's been learning how to skateboard over the last couple years. So we had, in the morning, we started off with a mentorship, like skate lessons for the kids. We had 7 really awesome, like mentor skateboarders that came out to teach the next generation, to help like guide them and not just teach them about safety, but a little bit about the culture. And then finally we got into our contests, and then we had winners, Andrew, Gavin, and Anders, which y'all saw in the recap video. So in terms of the competition for the adults, we had over 20 participants. We had 3 winners, so 3rd place Andrew, 2nd Cody Lacoste, and then in 1st place, we had Alex Galacio. I think there's some photos that went with this. Maybe they didn't make it over, but really awesome. In 2nd place, the picture has Cody with his kid in his arms, kind of like up on the podium. So it was just a really cool moment for us. for him to bring his family out and see all that. The fundraising impact of all this, of course, we were able to raise $1,200 of money that we're going to be holding on to until we get a project that is moving forward to development to replace this DIY with a permanent concrete state-of-the-art project. And then, of course, our vendors that were out there on the day had a really successful day. Between us all, we were able to give some money back to the county in taxes. Although here it says we have 100 survey responses, we started surveys at the same time as 3 other projects. We had 40 responses this day for the St. Martin Park, and so we've collected all of that for y'all to anytime y'all want to go over that data and see what that survey responses are. We've also created a little report for that. It won't be a part of this presentation. It's something you could review later. Matt Hosey, he has it. Of course, we had 300 attendees. Our volunteer power, there's a lot of volunteers we had out there powering this. With skate mentors, of course, we had our 7 mentors. Our concession crew, making sure the food and water was provided throughout the day. We had 4 for that. And then general staff support, the logistics of transporting all the equipment out and leaving it on site, making sure it was what fit the area. It took a lot of moving parts throughout the day, but it was incredible, and everyone pulled it together. And of course, our emergency staff that, although it's great that we didn't need them, but they were there to respond in case something came up. Finally, our community partners, starts with y'all. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your trust and to do this properly, to guide the community. And then we want to say a big shout out to Matt Hosey and DJ Pulley, who came out and just were the perfect leaders from the community to help to remove barriers and roadblocks, provide equipment throughout the day, and help provide information back and forth between us as a liaison from us back to y'all. Then our local sponsors, we had a bunch of really awesome sponsors that helped us raise that money and make sure it was a great day. Shane Hart Insurance, Mississippi Apparel, and then Absolutely Screen Printing, which allowed us to make some t-shirts to further continue to celebrate the day. And then our industry partners, so people actually here in the community who are involved in skateboarding in some way, who are benefiting. Yaya's Biloxi, Heartless Skate Shop, and then of course Monster Energy. There's a photo here of a kid who won a snowboard, and he's 3, so he's like this tall, and the snowboard's this big, and he's grinning from ear to ear. But I'm sure you'll all see that presentation later if you'd like. Finally, to wrap it up, what we're doing right now is we're building a legacy together, right? So I got a little picture here that made it in, just an idea of maybe what it could be like here in the coast, right? We're thinking about what the future is, how we're trying to cultivate talent so that maybe the kids who come to learn about skateboarding can then make it onto the Olympic track, right? Really what I want to start us all to start thinking about, what does the future growth for skateboarding look like here in the county? And I think based off of how this skate park launched, how things are going, I would like for y'all to take a real good look and see what kind of actions that we can take together to move to replace the DIY skate park with a permanent state-of-the-art concrete build. But the wave has started. Let's ride it towards a future, vibrant future for skateboarding here on the Gulf Coast. Do y'all have any questions? Also, would y'all like to add anything?
I just want to echo what Tyler said and really thank y'all for, giving us just a little bit of trust to at least get an event, under our belts to show, that there is a lot of community support for this. I think the day was great. I had a blast. I know it seemed like everybody else was having a blast. We just wanted to, kind of bring this up. This is something we had engaged Neil Schaefer back last year to start the design process for pickleball courts on the east side of the West Jackson County soccer field complex. If you're familiar with it, you've got Yellow Jacket Road that kind of runs up the middle of it, and on the west side is where we have all our 4 main soccer fields, the challenge course, and the parking lot where the DIY skate parks are located. On the opposite side of that road, there's nothing that's been developed there. It's just a big empty grass field where we're kind of, looking for our future improvements there. And this is just a placeholder for now, this blue shaded area. You can kind of see this is Yellow Jacket Road. If you turn off of Lemoyne, you're coming up into here. And this is the entrance to all what's already developed. So this is the empty side of the lot. It we're trying to work around this sewer gravity main that runs through the middle of it. We didn't really want to build on top of that for any future maintenance issues, so we've kind of left that in a, a patch just in this would be a playground area, big parking lot to support all the uses here, pickleball courts to the north, and then, this big center section for potential skate park just to save a spot for it. And so, when we first, I think it was, probably back in January is when we first, had this presentation to just, pitch the idea to everybody. We didn't want to fully dive off into the design of the skate park just then. We wanted to just try to check and see if we had enough community support. So that's why we're coming back to y'all today to, just see what your thoughts are. If you think, that there is enough community support for it, if we could at least start the design process for, a permanent concrete skate park here, that would be another huge, big step. It is, a pretty significant financial commitment. This site that we have carved out is around 23,000 square feet. Other similar parks of that size that have been built recently are in the $600,000 to $800,000 price range for total construction cost. And so about 10% of that would be more or less design fees, which would be about $75,000 to at least get it designed. It would probably take at least 6 months to get the design to a good point, but usually I just use about a year time frame. So I just kind of wanted to see if there's any questions about that and if there's any thoughts for moving forward.
Where are we at in the design phase for the pickleball stuff? Is it?
I would say it's at least 50%. DJ and I went back and forth with Neil Schaefer on the layout of everything to sort of shuffle things around and make sure we're putting them all in the right places. Like I said, the gravity main was the main thing we were trying to design around.
That kind of threw us for a little bit of a, little curveball there, but then it worked out though. And then, another thing too, Troy, with the, over there for you for the playgrounds in that area. I mean, there was a lot of kids coming over to the challenge course. They're running it, and it's a challenge, it's not a playground.
Right.
So that area is in need of that, and also the issues we've had at Cedar Grove here lately. Maybe out of a more public area, maybe
Yeah, is there a way, what can we do in this area for, the problem on Cedar Grove is people get in there and deface it and vandalize it.
Here, we haven't had any issues with vandalism on the other side of the road. I think because it's right there on the high on the road. Obviously we're going to put, I got the budget request for some security cameras to go out here for the soccer complex, and if we do this, that way we keep an eye on it a little bit better.
Yeah, it would be a very high visibility
that's
area.
Lemoyne Boulevard
Right, yeah, you're right on the corner of Lemoyne.
We had problems on the pier by the Ocean Springs Biloxi Bridge with people homeless people getting out there and setting fires on the pier.
Yeah.
And then we installed cameras out there. Have we had any problems since the cameras have been out there? And so
they're also out there too. They got that new decking too, so it's kind of hard to burn through that plastic stuff. So. But this would be, and I'll say this on the skate parks too. This was new to me. I might have been probably the three of us. I was probably the most skeptical. I was actually absolutely blown away by the response. I remember kids were out there. And also my guys are going out there, you're over probably every other weekday morning. There are people skating in the mornings. So it's getting used. It is a legitimate need. And I think just to develop that side across there, because right now it's just an empty lot. We've had issues with people abandoning parking trucks out there and stuff like that. It's a good spot to develop. It ties in with everything else going around there.
Is there any possible funding sources?
There are grants available for it, and Tyler's very familiar with them. We've already kind of started some of the early legwork to start applying for some of them. I know y'all's spot in Biloxi, I think you already started, doing that. So, yeah, there are like skateboard companies and, associations that give grants. And then there's also our, state and federal grants. I think there's some of those that could probably apply to this if we aren't successful with going the, skateboard route.
He's
for
absolutely
grants.
right. And I was actually, I was one of the finalists in it was formerly called the Tony Hawk Skate Park Foundation. Now it's called just the Skate Park Foundation. But I was one of the finalists in a big competitive skate park hero contest in which we were trying to raise money for that. That was several years back. But in essence, though, there are grant opportunities through some of these funding sources like that, but also throughout the state, and anything that deals with recreation, with youth, with all the kinds of communities that line up here. There's so many different grant opportunities that are for this park.
It could also be a potential tourism economic driver for, non-skateboarding people. I mean, there's not a park like this in our general vicinity, really anywhere on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I think, over in Alabama, you've got some in the Mobile area.
And then an hour away in Slidell, they just completed theirs, which is...
Slidell and Picayune, I think, also have comparable skate parks. So, I mean, it could be, a driver for, that sort of industry too. If we get some big competitions that want to come here, that could bring in outside people too.
So is this something we're going to talk about during budget time? Is that kind of?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we're coming up on budget season anyways, to start planning for next year. I would like to just ask if we could just budget for for the design costs of it, and get started on that in October. I think, would be really good for us.
We have so many requests that come in during budget time. I think I think you just put this in there, and if it ranks high, among the rest of the requests, then
right.
I think the board would consider it at that
We
point.
just have to sort through them.
Yeah, because there's so many things that we've got this year.
So this would be set up pretty much like all of our other ball fields and stuff. If there's a tournament or competition or whatever, they would rent it. So there'd be some fees and rates included. Okay.
We'll have to build more than one too.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
We know
They would all be a little different,
Right, yeah.
You wouldn't need
and
all
this,
this.
This is size-wise, for sure on the medium to larger scale, we could scale this back, half or even a quarter of the size, and have some smaller pocket park type things at some of our other communities,
Yeah.
Would help down the road.
Yeah, I know.
We come in your area all the time.
Right, yeah.
All you gotta do is build one, that's all.
And during this period of time, while we're still exploring this, I mean, we're loving what we get to do with as a nonprofit, with this charity, to help kids learn how to skate and also guide that culture and make sure that we're making sure safety is the priority. But also, we launched this in St. Martin. If there's somewhere else in the county that you feel like could use this touch, we would love to help you do this. And we're here for the long haul, and we're really planning to do this with all of our volunteers and get them to understand that skateboarding, we are part of the community as much as they are part of us, and we're integrated. So.
Sure. The only concern I would have, Matthew, and at budget time, if you'll try to run some numbers, is the exposure to the county liability-wise, because a swimming pool, that's like a swimming pool without water. All right, so I'm sure it has more liabilities. That's one reason why we've always been interested in doing a swimming pool.
Started the legwork on that as well. I mean, just to get the event up off the ground, Jimmy helped us out and looked through, what general liability policies we already have for our, county recreation facilities. And it seemed to already, we didn't really have to change anything to be able to do what we're doing now with the wooden parks. We can revisit that again with a concrete park. But again, like we mentioned back in January, as long as we have good signage that lays out the rules and recommendations for safety procedures, and that we maintain the park in a good working order, the liability is about the same as it would be for any other park. So I mean, just off the top of my head right now, and of course, we'll definitely make sure that we know this for sure at come budget season, but I don't think it would cost us more in insurance, you know, to do this. But yeah, we'll definitely make sure.
Like I said, that's my only concern.
Okay, yeah, and it's a valid one, so we'll definitely check.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you all.
All right,
We thank y'all.
Okay.
Brian, that brings us down to action items.
State delegation, the state legislature obviously wrapped up their special session last week and passed the state's budget. Like we expected, it did not have any local projects included in it, and hopefully that'll mean more local projects are funded next year.
Has that ever happened before in your memory?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I mean, it seems like even when they didn't have extra money or CapEx funds, they at least did Tidelands or something, but not this year. I think there was one budget, the multimodal grant program that they have at MDOT was plussed up by about $18 million. And so there may be some opportunities for us to apply for a grant for like the airport or the port or somewhere like that. But that was really the only thing that I saw that had some potential.
Okay.
So, and that's it.
All right, thank you, Brian. That brings us down to supervisor items. Have a resolution appointing Paige Roberts to the Coastal Mississippi Board, and I'll make that motion.
I second it.
Got a second by Mr. Morris. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right, I didn't have anything, Mr. Morris.
I didn't have anything.
Mr. Taylor?
No, sir, I do not.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ross? No. And Mr. Beaucharge, I think you
Yeah, I
have
got
something.
one. I make a motion, I have a resolution appointing Pamela Manning to the Gulf Park Estates St. Andrews Fire District Board, which on our consent agenda today, they officially take over what they had petitioned for the rest of the area that was left over after annexation. So I make that motion.
Okay. All right. I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Aye.
Oh, and I'd like to point out too, there was a house fire last week or week before last down there in Ocean Beach Estates. And they had 9 volunteers show up to that house fire within like 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's already gonna pay off for extra protection down there. I'd
Okay.
like to commend them for that.
Sounds good. All right, that brings us down to closed session. It's 9:45. We got to come back for a public hearing, or have a public hearing at 10.
Knock some, couple of things.
Uh-huh.
Do that one I have real quick.
And executive.
All right, we want to go on into closed session. A couple of them are going to be short, and we'll have to come out and go back in.
Yes, I think the Jackson, George County litigation may take a little bit, prospective location of the business may take a little bit. Personnel, mine will not take very long, Mr. Ross, I don't know about yours. Yeah, okay.
All right. Could I get a motion to go into closed session, see if there's sufficient evidence?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Morris, a second by Mr. Ross. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank y'all.
Take a break.
o'clock. We have a public hearing this morning regarding abandonment of a portion of Camellia Road. Joe, you want to come on up?
Okay, I get it. Thanks, sir.
Go ahead, Joe.
We're here this morning. The board had previously passed a resolution for a public hearing today at 10 o'clock on a portion, abandonment on a portion of Camellia Road in District 5. This is just about a mile north of Latimer Community Center off of Con Road. As you can see on the picture I just took out, the blue area highlighted is about 1,278 feet that they have requested to be abandoned. And I think all the property owners had signed a petition to abandon, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, this one, I talked with Joe about it, and I talked to council about it. And I did mention to council for some of the landowners that typically if road department does not have an issue, and if all the landowners sign off, then typically the board, maybe not always, but typically the board would approve. This one's a little bit different. There are two lawsuits that are pending. One is there's been a ruling in one of them. And so what's going on generally, and correct me if I'm wrong on what I'm saying, there's a county court lawsuit going on where a landowner is trying to get a private right of access to his property. And there are disagreements in that case. And I don't know all the details of it, but this Camellia Road is maybe somehow part of that case to some extent. Judge Watts has issued a ruling in favor of the opposition, the adjoining landowners. The time for appeal hasn't run though on that case. And that's when I first became aware of it, because the county got a subpoena for all documents that we may have that indicate that we have an ownership interest or we own Camellia Road. Subsequently, and recently, within the last month or so, there was a lawsuit filed in Chancery Court against the county, alleging that the county does not own this part of Camellia Road or some part of it, even though it's on the road registry and it's been used as a public road, and road department has paved it. So we've got that lawsuit in Chancery that says that we don't own Camellia Road. I suppose the board could abandon whatever interest it may have in it. In my mind, it is no question a public road. Let me bounce back to the county court lawsuit. There's currently pending, I don't think they've been released, there's currently pending a lis pendens that's been filed. And what that is one of the parties in the county court suit has filed a legal document in the land records saying that this part of Camellia Road is the subject of pending litigation. Typically you see those, well, we filed lis pendens in the Jackson County, George County case against the buildings that are owned by Singing River Mental Health, telling the world that anybody who wants to buy one that, wait a minute, this property is subject to pending litigation. So I think that the board would be in its right to go either way on this. My only concern a little bit is if it's abandoned, how does that affect the county court case that may be appealed? I don't know if it's going to be. So I think you'd be within your right either way, if you granted it or if you denied it. If you were to deny it, I would suggest it be denied without prejudice to the property owners having the right to bring it back up at a later point, once the lawsuit was over. We're kind of wading over into the judiciary side of things on the pending lawsuit. Again, I don't know all the details of it. I haven't studied that lawsuit, but I know it's there, and all of this is kind of intertwined. There's this pending petition and 2 lawsuits that are filed in 2 different courts.
What if we just put this off until those lawsuits are settled, Jimmy? I don't know what's the best thing, really, but.
Let me ask, what's the status of the county court cases? If that case is not appealed, then I don't think there's an issue.
As of Friday, that case has not been appealed. I'm only McAllen, counsel for Blake Crone. So no appeal's been filed yet, but they do still have time to file that appeal. But I agree with the statements that you made. I think this is the discretion of the board, whether they would grant it or not. I think there could be some interplay with the appeal, but it hasn't been appealed yet. And I believe the requisites for the statute for the board to act to abandon the road have been met. All of the adjacent landowners have signed a petition and requested the abandonment.
Yeah. You hadn't talked with Mr. Corlew on whether or not he intends to appeal?
There have been some discussions, nothing definitive either way. The parties are trying to negotiate potential arrangement where no appeals taken, but no agreement's been made between the parties.
How much time does he have left?
Yeah, I'll look more at it.
I can't remember exactly when that judgment was entered, but I believe you would probably have somewhere between 14 and 21 days left to appeal.
Yeah, maybe I looked at it, maybe mid-May it was entered.
Right.
If that's true, that'd give him maybe 2 weeks?
Probably 2 more weeks.
More weeks.
Because we normally do
What
10
was it,
days.
what's the
for
court
appeal.
case all about? Is it about somebody saying it's not a county
The court
road?
case is in very general terms, Scott Corlew, his client, alleges his property is landlocked and he's trying to get access to his property. That's the,
Through this road?
Well, I think that's the allegation. I think the road, I think the access is maybe at the end of the road through private owner's property to his property.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of where the road comes in. So if the road were abandoned, it would somehow affect, if he were to appeal and be successful, it would somehow affect his lawsuit.
Yeah.
This board's action would affect the case currently pending.
Correct. And, if you look at the underlying facts, do y'all have copies of the map in front of you? So if you look at that map and you see Camellia Road, to the right, there's another road that comes down. It's not a county road, but it's an easement and it's paved. And that property next door is owned by Jimmy Kinnett Jr.'s uncle and father. And so he has easements now from them and Bellevue, the large piece to the south below his uncle and father's land. And so he's really going to have a pretty impossible time of showing that he has an actual need that rises to 65-7-201, where he gets to condemn the Crohn's property. And so even if that came back for a new trial, he's got family that has land, next to his land, and he's got an easement from Bellevue now that would allow him to use his family's land. And so he shouldn't be able to, in my opinion, disturb the Crohn's privacy and come through their property. I do want to mention the Chancery Court quiet title action that's pending. If the board were to abandon this portion of the road, that case goes away. It would be dismissed because we would have achieved the relief that we're seeking here.
Yeah, the county court case would, I agree, go away. The county court case saying that we don't have an interest in the roadway, would that litigation would be unnecessary. My only hang-up, and I've never dealt with this before, is this board taking action that may somehow affect a pending lawsuit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that, I mean, it's just, it's kind of an unusual fact scenario. I guess it'd be nice if y'all could reach some type of agreement where there is no need for an appeal. That'd make abandoning the road a lot easier. Because I understand the road department does not care one way or another.
So,
Don't know when the lawsuit's gonna come to a head. I heard you say 2 weeks a while ago.
Well, the county court action, it's a special court of eminent domain, and the Crones prevailed in that, and the action was dismissed with prejudice under 41B. And so for them to win the appeal, I mean, there'd have to be something that I just absolutely don't see. And even if they were successful in winning the appeal, under the statute that gives this board the authority to abandon this road, even if the case was pending and hadn't been dismissed with prejudice, it doesn't give them standing to come in here today and put forth any argument that would prevent this board from abandoning the road, because all that's required is that all of the landowners currently using the road agree to its abandonment. And that is the fact presently before this board. All of the homeowners currently using the road have agreed that it should be abandoned, and that's what they want. Jimmy Kinnett Jr., I think he filed his lawsuit in 2022, certainly 2023, and so it's been dragging on for years. It has been dismissed with prejudice at this point. And so I think this board could safely abandon the road today or table it for another 2 weeks and see if an appeal is taken.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's within the discretion of the board as to what to do. You know, I don't necessarily relish the fact of interfering with a pending court action that you correctly stated has been dismissed, but that time for appeal has not run. And if the board were to abandon, that potentially could affect that pending case. It'd be nice if he wouldn't appeal and y'all could agree and reach a good resolution. And but as of right now, that case is still valid until either he appeals or the time for appeal runs, or y'all reach an agreement.
So is there 5 or 6 parcels that use this road?
There's several parcels, but only 3 homeowners. And so Matthew Crone, Clayton Crone, and Kathleen Abraham. And they're all 3 present today.
Yeah, I've heard from a couple of people on the on that road, closer to Cron Road, that are supportive of it being abandoned. So,
yeah, and I don't think that anybody necessarily is opposed to it. That I know of. Mr. Corley's not here arguing against it. I just mentioned this because it's an unusual situation with a lawsuit that is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as alive as it used to be, but still alive.
So you say he's got about 2 weeks left for the to appeal?
To the best of my recollection, it's about 2 weeks. I'd have to check the date to tell you with certainty.
Could I make a motion to abandon once the appeal runs its course and nobody files an appeal, then it would just come to the consent agenda to be approved? Could we do that?
Abandonment contingent on no appeal?
Yeah, contingent of no appeal, then it just comes to the consent agenda to get approved.
Contingent upon the appeal time expiring with no appeal. You see any problem with that?
I don't think so. And I know I'm really not asking y'all questions, but I would like to ask.
We do
Mr.
it
Corlew
legally.
Mr. Corlew, counsel for Kinnett Jr., mentioned that he was aware of this proceeding. Were you able to speak with him about the hearing today?
Not last week, maybe the week before, or maybe it was last week. It was a busy week. When I asked him about the status of the case, I think that's why I got on NEC and looked at it. And he mentioned it had been dismissed. I think I asked him about an appeal, and he didn't say yes, didn't say no. That was about the extent of it.
Okay.
But then if we approved it for abandonment, then all they could do is just file action to postpone, to halt it until it gets through appeal, couldn't it? Like an injunction?
Oh, what?
On our approval to abandon, say we approved to abandon it today, and then they decide to file an appeal, they could petition the court for an injunction.
I mean, the court, yeah, I mean, I suppose the court could do that. It's kind of one of the reasons I didn't want to get into the sticky aspect of it. I suppose in theory, Mr. Corlew could appeal this decision to circuit court saying it's arbitrary and capricious because there's a list pendants file and a pending lawsuit. I don't know if that would.
It's the only reason they filed because they were worried that their property was gonna get cut off. So if they have an alternate option, they don't really have an issue. There's no reason for them to even be litigated.
Who's they?
Corlew.
I don't know. I mean, he filed, I guess, because he said that this was the best route to get access to his property. I don't know the facts of it. I haven't delved into the facts. I mean,
I'm trying to remember his testimony at trial. He didn't quite say it was the most convenient. That's not, but that's sort of a paraphrase. It was the least burdensome to his neighbors, but his uncle and his father own land right there that, you know, gets him there. So that's not exactly a testimony I would agree with, but, you know, any access, you know, forbears him from getting the relief he's asking for in the special court of eminent domain. And I believe that door has been closed after trial.
I really don't have a problem with making a motion to just go ahead and abandon it today. Because, I mean, it's been 2 weeks. If they're going to file an appeal, they would have already done it. That's the way I look at it. I mean, sometimes I think people just like to drag it along because they can to further any action being taken. So I don't have a problem with going ahead and making a motion to accept the road department's recommendation and abandoning Camellia Lane, or road.
We'll just see what happens from there then.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a motion. Yeah, we're just waiting on a second.
Second.
Who's second?
Troy second, Randy made a motion, and Troy second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Hey, so all y'all are the property owners? All right, I'm gonna give you my speech that I always give everybody when we abandon a road. Don't come back in 3 to 5 years and wanting it back as a public road, because it ain't gonna happen, all right?
When the blacktop gets bad.
And remember, ditches are y'all's responsibility, roads are y'all's responsibility. So, but I give this speech to everybody, whether they're in my district or not, because a long time ago that used to happen. People would come and get a road abandoned, and 5 years later, when it needed to be asphalted, they wanted it, or the ditches needed to be cleaned, they wanted it back on the road registry. So we all understand that? Even though y'all are in my district, we understand that? Okay.
Garbage.
All right. Oh, and the garbage too. So the garbage truck won't be able to come down your road anymore. You'll have to roll it out to the end of the road there. So, okay. We'll work with you the best we can, but you know, it's, once you do this, it's basically a big private drive. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Well, thank y'all. All right.
See you, Joe. All right, I need a motion to return back into executive session. I have a motion by Mr. Ross. I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no.